Hello, how are you? Now, today we are going to be talking about stress. And I thought it would be a good time to teach you about a stress management technique that I love and a lot of my patients love that you can practice this weekend in time for a busy week ahead next week. Now, the thing about stress is when it comes to acute stress or short-term stress, it's great, right? That could be also interpreted as exciting, but also short-term stress can actually get us out of a lot of sticky situations, whether that is running out of the way of a car or having to fight for our lives in a particular situation. However, long-term stress is not so good. The issue with long-term stress is that it doesn't just change our behavior, but it can also cause us long-term health effects just from stress alone. So for example, if I have a very stressful job, then it's very likely that that stress will stop me from sleeping. The stress will cause a peak of adrenaline or a spike of adrenaline, which will release more sugar into my bloodstream, which will then plummet, which will then cause me to eat more. And these things all relate to the sleep deprivation, the fluctuating sugar and insulin levels, and as well as that the behavior of eating more to compensate or to comfort ourselves or to compensate for the lack of sleep are huge predispositions for diabetes, hypertension, stroke, heart disease, you name it. Now, the thing about stress is a lot of the time, we'll quote Mark Twain said that throughout my life there are many things that worried me, many of which never actually came into existence. And that is a really good way that we can think about stress, is that we tend to stress on the illusions that we present ourselves in the past and the future. Now, what we actually need is something to anchor us to the present, because if we anchor ourselves to the present, then we can have a much more proactive, much clearer, much more rational perspective. And one way of anchoring ourselves to the present is to focus on our breath. This is called breath watching. It's very, very common in certain forms of meditation and also certain religions as well. Because if we watch our breath and we focus on our breath, then we're in the present and we can use that as a reference point to then orientate ourselves from, right? Now, when we do breath watching, rather than do, say, yogi breathing, which would be, say, in through your nose and out through your mouth, vice versa, we're only going to concentrate on breathing through our nose. And this is because we create far better dilation of our lungs and the different blood vessels in our lungs and the different structures of our lungs, but also as well as that, it slows our breathing down, which is really what we want for stress relief. Now, when we go through this, what I want you to do is focus on my finger. The horizontal movements are when we breathe in, and the vertical movements are when we breathe out. So, we'll breathe in and out, and in and out. Now, when we're doing this, because we're elongating the out breath, it's making us go into the part of our nervous system which calms us down. So the in-breath, a lot of the time, is very dramatic in people that are stressed, and the out-breath is very short. But what we actually want to do is breathe in for 2 seconds and out for 4. Now, one way that we can also anchor ourselves to our breath is by either using our finger, or what we can do is use different touches on our fingers. So in-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath. So because we've got a ratio of 1 to 2, we've got 2 seconds, 4 seconds, or you go for in, out, 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 2 to 6 seconds. The longer your out-breath, the more relaxing you'll find it, but also by focusing on our fingers, we're doing also combining it with a technique called grounding, which can be really good to reduce stress. So try to focus on doing this just a few minutes a day, turn it into a habit, then turn it into something which you do more regularly than just a few minutes a day. Make sure that you structure your time around it to make sure that you're getting it done, and then it becomes a way that you can relieve your stress on demand whenever you need to. I hope that helps. Please let us know if you need help with your stress, because we've got a fantastic mental health clinic to help you, and also as well as that, we've got our fitness studio and our pain clinic for anyone who's suffering with pain or mental health related stress. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend.